Okay, welcome to Yacht Haven Grand. Thank you for coming. We're seated in Grand Cru, one of our 3 restaurants here at Yacht Haven Grand. We are a multi-purpose mega yacht facility that has been open for about a year and a half. Grand Cru is our fine dining restaurant. We also have Wicked behind me, which is a Caribbean casual beach shack style restaurant. And over there we have Fat Turtle, which is our rocking Caribbean roadhouse with great seafood, salads, and pizzas. We have a wonderful program for you guys today. We're going to do a culinary demonstration. I'm going to demonstrate a 3-course meal, appetizer, entree, and dessert. And then I'm going to disappear in the back to cook the meal for you, and you guys can have a nice lunch. And while I'm in back, our rum expert is going to take you on a tour of 4 rums and throughout the island, the history, the cultural, and other important facts about rum. And most importantly, you guys will get to drink the rums. Okay, so we're going to start the cooking demonstration. Like I said, I'm going to demonstrate 3 courses. The first course, which I'll demonstrate, is our appetizer. It's 3 rum flame shrimp with ginger cucumber coulis, fried cassava, and pickled beets. The entree portion, or second course, is malt and mango marinated chicken with a plantain mofongo, lime sauteed zucchini. The third, or dessert, is white chocolate cake with Grand Marnier macerated mangoes and caramelized cashews. So for the first dish, as I say, it's called 3 rum flame shrimp because there's 3 shrimp on the plate, and I'm going to flame each with a different rum. The rums are from our sister island of St. Croix. We have a banana rum, a 2-year aged dark rum, and a vanilla rum. We're going to start this process with the pickled beets. Whenever I cook with rum, or we talk about sugar cane or any of the other things that made this island in the plantation lifestyle so big, I kind of like to include beets just as a little cultural thing, because beet, or the sugar beet, where sugar was derived from after they found that process, really decimated the whole plantation economy down here and ended up leading to the change in that whole system and benevolency to ending of slavery. So what we're going to do, when I say pickling, I'm really talking about a flavoring here. You could take it one step further and do a put it up or can it to allow it to be saved a little bit more. But right now we're just looking for a sweet and sour flavor profile. I just put a little bit of seasoned rice vinegar and water, 2 cups of each. And we're going to bring that to a boil, and we're going to add some of our aromatics while it's getting ready to boil. We have caraway seeds, whole black peppercorns, fresh thyme, and fennel seed. Then we're going to add a little bit of sugar, a little bit of salt, and we're going to allow that to come to a boil. While that's getting ready to boil, we're going to turn our attention to a ginger cucumber coulis. And we're going to start with fresh cucumbers. And we're just going to chop them up whole. We're going to leave the seeds and the skin and everything in. And what we're going to do is we're looking to pull out some of the moisture so that when we do puree this sauce, we get a nice sauce consistency from it. Do a rough chop. Put it into our mixing bowl. And we'll add some of our flavorings. We have French shallots, finely minced, a little bit of fresh dill, a little bit of fresh cilantro, a little bit of sugar, some salt, and some more seasoned rice vinegar. Another flavoring that I like to add to this to make it for the ginger is actually pickled ginger, just like you would get in a sushi bar. And that adds a little bit of a more fermented flavor than just raw ginger would. So normally in your home kitchen, we would let this sit for about a half an hour to draw out some of the moisture to allow for that sauce consistency. But through the miracle of modern television, we're just going to puree right now. There are several different ways you can puree this dish. You could either use a blender, or what I prefer to do is to use what's called an immersion blender. And this just sticks right in here and purees it up. Takes a few seconds to get going. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so the other component of this dish is fried cassava. And what cassava is, or commonly referred to in the States as yuca, is a root vegetable that's very popular in Latin and South American countries. Very often they use this and they boil it. I'm particularly not too partial to boiled cassava. They do bake it as well. I find it's a little bit too fermenty of a flavor. So what I like to do is peel it and get a nice fried chip out of it. That also allows for a different texture from the softness of the shrimp and also the cucumbers and the beets. We'll start to get our pan hot for the shrimp. We have a nice simmer working on our pickling brine. So I'm going to add fresh sliced beets, and we're just going to put that in there and let those go for about 2 minutes, and then we'll be ready to go. We have shrimp. I'm using white tiger shrimp today. We're just going to season them very simply. A little bit of salt, a little bit of black pepper. All right, so we're going to start searing our shrimp. One of the techniques I like to use whenever searing or sauteing, as the case may be, is you use a hot pan, cold oil, no stick is the axiom I like to use. Put a little bit of canola oil in the pan. We're going to put our 3 shrimp right in there. And as anyone's ever noticed, I'm sure no one's ever really had a undercooked shrimp at a restaurant. So what I like to do is sear the shrimp pretty much 75% of the way on one side to get a nice crispy coating, and then we'll flip it and we'll flame with the dark rum, and we'll let the rum cook the shrimp the rest of the way through. Whenever you're cooking with alcohols, you like to make sure that you do flame the alcohol if there's over 25%. Otherwise, you create what's called an aldehyde, and that'll end up burning in the back of your throat and giving an unpleasant flavor. Also, another technique is to make sure that you remove the pan and put the alcohol in and then return it to flame, or the flame will travel up into the bottle. Very often, chefs have a tendency to be a little bit conceited about it and end up not doing that. Well, a couple of years ago, I actually did have the flame travel back up into the bottle. It shot the bottle out of my hand, and the most unfortunate part about this was it missed the waiter by about 2 or 3 inches. So we're going to flip our shrimp, put the rum in, flame it up. Very good, yeah. On that note also, you should never really flame in a pan unless you are using alcohol. Very so often you see people sauteing on cooking shows on TV, they shoot flames up. Basically what's happening there is the oil is aspirating off of the pan, catching on fire and settling back onto the food. Then you end up tasting like gasoline of your food. So now that we have everything working, we're going to do our plating for our first dish. We're going to put our cucumber coulis down on the plate. Spread it out a little bit. We're going to use our fried cassava. Place our rum flame shrimp. And then finish with our pickled beets. And there you have our appetizer, our first course. It's 3 rum flame shrimp, ginger cucumber coulis, fried cassava, and pickled beets.